It all came together on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. The support from the fans, the waiting for the bus, the packed stadium. The stage was set for number 39. Unfortunately, the team wasn't at the same level. That and much more on another night, another podcast.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero o manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio. E esses estádios, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Dol Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo. With me, as always, Cristiano Oliveira. What's happening, Chris?
What's happening? Hey, what's happening? Hey, eu digo tu what's happening.
And also with us, Dave De Oliveira. What's up, Dave? Welcome
what's
back,
up?
Dave.
What's up? No days off for the rest of the season here.
We missed you,
So,
brother.
we're in here.
Agora com dois jogos é fácil falar.
We missed you, brother. Missed you, brother. Yeah, here
Good
we
to
are.
be back though.
I want to say hello to the Freddies. Thank you for joining us. Logan Muniz, Bruno Teixeira, Manuel da Cunha, Boris Negarosa, Jason Gaidola. Yeah, long time no see, Boris. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. And welcome to all the guys that are going to join us a little later. Guys and gals, if any of them join. And the people that are going to listen to us a little later tonight. Episode 560 is what we're serving up tonight. We're obviously going to spend some time discussing the derby, what we thought, our opinions, Dave's opinion. Cristiano already mentioned that he's not going to talk a lot, but he will jump in whenever he feels compelled to.
Hey, I'm afraid you can't do that because now they're all leaving. All the Freddies are leaving. You can't do that. Come on.
Chris has got free reign on his podcast. Chris is as much of a host as I am, and he's got free reign on his podcast. And obviously we're gonna pause a little bit here and talk a little bit amongst ourselves. Obviously we're all upset, right? We're all upset because this game didn't go the way we were hoping that it would go. We were just talking about the pregame, a lot of the images and the show of support for this team. Go ahead, Chris.
I just I hate to interrupt you, but I don't want anybody listening to think we're being a bunch of crybabies. So I don't like the wording. It didn't go the way we wanted it to go. It didn't. It didn't go. It wasn't the way, but again, that's being it wasn't. What's the word, bro? The game, the performance, it wasn't what we expected. How's that?
Well, that's what I said. The team wasn't at the level in the preview, or actually in the intro.
Oh, same.
The team wasn't at the level that the fans were, right? And we were just talking about it, right? And obviously, get up on Saturday morning. Everybody's super excited about the game. There's live coverage, early coverage, and you're watching some moments that tug at your heartstrings, right? The arrival of the bus, the supporters, everybody's super confident that this was going to be our game. The bus or the police not allowing the fans at the Rotunda. The fans found another way to welcome the bus.
That didn't deter them from finding the bus, for sure.
And, at the end of the day, I mean, and I think it's the spontaneous displays of support by the fans, and not the stuff that's organized, that the fans are behind barriers. And I think it's the natural, organic movements like the ones we saw when the fans waited for the bus at that particular spot. That really tugged at the heartstrings, right? So you're watching that, and you really, as a Benfiquista, it's pulling all of your Benfiquista pride, and you're really feeling it. You're really feeling it, and you're thinking, this can't get away from us. This is our game. And then it was what it was. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Just a few more people joining us. Bruno Gil Rodrigues, Bruno Teixeira. I think I already said Bruno Teixeira. Milton Carvalho. What's up, Milton?
Smash the like button.
That's right. Smash the like button. The live button. Yeah, I'm swallowing my words. But yeah, let's get right into it. I hope you guys are feeling all right. There's a little bit of therapy never hurt anybody. So Sporting obviously tied with Benfica points coming started to lose in the game for the championship. If Benfica won the championship, or won this game, would be in a very good position. By not winning, we relinquished control of our destiny to Sporting. And we lined up with the following 11. Trubin was in goal, Araújo, Silva, Otamendi, and Carreras across the back. Tino, Kokshu, and Auschnitz in the middle. Di Maria and Artur Koglu on the wings. Pavlidis up front. So let's start with this lineup, right? Because there's been a lot of talk in terms of Di Maria and the selection for Di Maria. Could have Lage gone a little different? To me, or I could go to Chris and Dave, and they could give me their opinion. But obviously, Di Maria is a player that's played at the highest stages, right? I think that his experience and his big game presence warrant a spot in the 11. Now, that's Di Maria at 100%. With Di Maria at 80%, it becomes more questionable. Then you add the fact that the team relies a lot on Di Maria to make things happen, right? So you see a lot of balls going to that right-hand side for Di Maria to do something with the ball. And when a player's not at 100%, obviously he's going to have difficulties breaking things or creating mismatches or getting through balls to players or creating dangerous situations. And that, to me, I think that's the biggest thing. It's not so much the choice of Di Maria, but it's the choice of Di Maria at 80%, not 100%. I think that was the first mistake that Lage made.
Alfredo, let me ask you a question before somebody mentions it, right? Do you think that the injury to Amendoin had anything to do with that? Do you think if Amendoin was healthy, do you think he still would have gone with Di Maria? Because Amendoin had been starting, obviously, the previous games. So I'm just asking, throwing that little wrinkle in there.
Yeah, look, I think that having that option, maybe it makes for a different decision for Lage. But I think that understanding that you don't have another option, and the other option would be to bring Artur Koglu to the right and put Sheldrup on the left, or put Bruma on the left, whatever. I think that there's a lot more tinkering when you have to move guys around the field just because you need to play on the right field.
Could have been Dahl, bro. I gave you guys.
It could have been Dahl. Yeah, you're right. It could have been Dahl.
I gave you guys a formation. I gave you guys a starting 11 the week prior when Eric was on with us. I told you move Artur Koglu to the right, you play Dahl on the left. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be.
Yeah, so and look, the other thing, and we often saw this, was Di Maria going into the middle and Auschnitz really filling in that right-hand side of the field. Also
to help out Araújo.
Help out Araújo, defend, balance the team. There was a lot of things that were going on, but I think that I think that Dahl could have played above Carreras, especially because they get along pretty well, and they're two guys that combine really well with the ball. And then have Artur Koglu on the right, which is realistically not, and admittedly not his best side, but certainly I think it would have been much better. And I think that despite their Sheldrup not having the best of games, the game flowed a lot better in the second half when Di Maria came out, because again, and I kind of equate this to in comparison to Ronaldo's presence in the national team, where it seems that everybody is always looking for Ronaldo because Ronaldo is the main player, so on and so forth. And it felt like that. It felt that the team looked for Di Maria and thought about getting Di Maria involved. But Di Maria at 80% with no explosion at 37 years old, coming off of injury, not having played in a few games, it's never going to be a Di Maria that helps you. On top of it, it seems that every free kick that he took was shitty. So add that. I mean, you can make that argument. Dave, what are your thoughts?
What do I say? This is
What do I
Di
say?
Maria that I'm just looking through his previous game logs here. His last appearance prior to this match against Sporting was against Guimarães on April 19th, where he came off injured at the 53rd minute. So almost about a month span where he didn't get no playing action, and you're expecting him to be at 100% in such a big match. I know a player of Di Maria's stature, like you don't want to leave him out of a big match like this, but putting that weight behind him and expecting him to be at top form, I think is a little bit silly as well. So right off the bat there, I think it would have been better to have him come off the bench, especially now looking back, revisionist history. Much be better coming off the bench here, but like I told you guys before the podcast started, I think this was one of his worst performances in the last 2 years since he's been back at the club, which is really unfortunate, and hate to see him go out potentially on a performance like this.
Mhm.
But I think Lodge
You
got the lineup wrong with including him in the starting 11 here.
you hit it on the head, Dave. You hit it on the head when you mentioned last appearance. Obviously, he got hurt. He'd been out a while, and that's why a guy like myself, who's a Di Maria defender, a guy who wants more Di Marias on Benfica, was going into this game and saying I thought it should have been, Dahl and Arthur Guglu. I didn't think Di Maria should start because
Yeah.
precisely because of the reason he hasn't played. You could tell he's not going to be in rhythm. This is a game that he could come in and play the last 15, 20 minutes and add a little something. If he's good, he's good. If he's not, oh well. Doesn't affect you as much as he would playing
Right.
70, 80 minutes. And it's just a totally different Di Maria. When Di Maria is healthy, when Di Maria has been playing in rhythm and getting into the groove, he's a fantastic player, especially in the Portuguese league. He could absolutely still make the difference in the game. But due to the fact he hasn't played in a while, I thought that was obvious. I thought it would have been the obvious choice to ease him in. Had it been anybody else, you're easing these players into these games. Now, I understand the magnitude of the game was huge, and if Di Maria tells you he's healthy and the coach hoping that he'd have a little bit of magic in his feet and his left foot at least, and make a difference with an opportunity or two in a game like this. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And I thought,
Yep.
it's real easy to come out here now and point the finger and whatever, but it's just the simple things in soccer, right? You don't bring a guy off the streets and throw him into the starting 11 right away. You almost never, ever, ever do that. And, I thought it was a mistake.
Plus, I think that him coming in the last 15, 20 minutes or whatever it is, you find a lot of players that are probably at his level in terms of fatigue, right? But yeah, Benfica started on the back foot with a play that we've seen time and time again, with Gyökeres streaking on the left-hand side, beating two players. I don't know how he got past two players, then finding a streaking Trincão, which nobody really looked after and followed, and he just put it away. And I think that understanding that Benfica had set up a certain way, a certain game plan to play, allowing a goal at the fourth minute kind of changes everything. And then Benfica struggled for the rest of the half. They really struggled to find some footing. We're passing the ball well, but not really creating a lot of chances. I remember the Di Maria shot, which is just over the crossbar. I can't remember any other opportunity that Benfica had. And I was looking at the shots we had. And Dave, you have the stats up on the shots. In the first half, we had 5 shots and one of them on target or none of them on target, something like that. I had the stat up.
Not even that. We only finished the game with 1 shot on target, so
Yeah.
we wouldn't even had a shot on target that first.
Yeah, and
half.
the upright hit didn't count, by the way, as a shot on target. Yeah.
But yeah, just talking about that play about Jokic, like what
They've went.
Dave, that's what I call Mickey Mouse defending, Dave.
Yeah.
Absolute Mickey Mouse defending. And you see, I think their game plan, the rest of the game works spot on Gyökeres. Gyökeres is a guy that you cannot give space to.
Yeah.
You have to stick on him and stay on him. Like, that annoying piece of gum you got in the sole of your, in the bottom of your sneaker. That's the way. And I think Di Maria, I'm sorry. Antonio Silva played the rest of the game precisely like that. And I thought that's why Gyökeres wasn't really much involved in the game. Benfica gave him way too much space. I mean, you saw three guys convening on him at once. And then I don't even think he was trying to make that pass. I think he was trying to put it in between the guys and go around them and get it. Look, it came out right. Whether we could sit here and argue if it was a pass or not, we'll never know. But again, Benfica gave him way too much room. In order to shut down a guy like Gyökeres, you have to not give him room, and that's exactly what they did. And look, it cost us dearly. And I think Benfica after that early goal, I think it was rough for them to get back into their game plan. I don't know, whatever game plan they had, it was thrown out the window as soon as Sporting scored that early goal. And I think it took the team their whole first half to really get back on even footing. And I think it took real quick. I think it took halftime to get one of them old school speeches and just smack the oranges out of your hands and like wake these guys up, because that first half was unacceptable.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
you could tell they were trying to force it and not playing their game because they were already behind the ball at that point with that quick goal. What I wanted to say about that Jokic play, they had ample room to commit the foul against him before it even gets close to the box. Because if I'm not mistaken, that play develops right at the halfway line, if not just across that halfway line. So commit a foul early in the game there, and don't even let that opportunity or that chance create itself. Like, we all know that how Jokic plays, so commit that foul way before it even gets to the box. But lazy, sloppy defending, and really that was Sporting's only chance that they had against us.
I don't know if they felt overconfident because of the fact that it was 2-on-1, and that's why they didn't commit the foul. But the fact of the matter is that they were too passive on the 2-on-1, and he was able to find a gap. He wasn't going to go through 2-on-1. Gave him chance to think what he was going to do, and then he was able to slot a ball between the two, which is
it's three. Alfredo, it was Antonio Silva, Otamendi, and then
Otamendi was a little more backed up, I think.
Yeah, but it's still three.
Yeah. But it was unfortunate, but it's a play that we've seen time and time again. And what are you gonna do? But yeah, that basically ruined everything in terms of game plan for Benfica. And despite the crowd being into it and cheering, I think it's the loudest I've heard Stadio Luz, and certainly the support. The team can't complain about the support not being there because it was there throughout the game. It's unfortunate. Second half, move right at the half, substitution right at the half. Skeldrup came in for Di Maria, and I felt that the game flowed a little better, and it was a little bit more balanced in terms of what sides were being used. 63rd minute, Maradona-like play by Pavlidis, taking on 5 players and then finding Artur Koglu in front of the goal to get Benfica's equalizer. I was watching the game with Chris, and I told him, we're playing, and I think it's going to come. But despite our playing and the combinations, we never really got close to Sporting's goal. Dave, I don't remember Sporting's goalie making a save the whole entire game.
The only shot on net was the one that we scored on, and then after that it was either posts or
over the bar,
side of the nets, or over the bar, or block shots. The only other chance that I'm thinking after the goal was the one where Pavlidis he ends up hitting the post or the side of the net, and then from there we really didn't make them work for it or really create any dangerous scoring opportunities. You could feel that Sporting was definitely on the ropes, and they had the advantage. A draw was always going to be in their favor, so they didn't have to really push forward or bring the game to us. We always had to bring the game, especially to them, especially with going down early. But yeah, the results weren't there for us at the end.
Yeah. Chris, how were you feeling during the second half? Did you feel after that goal that we were going to be able to get to scratch another one in?
Yeah, I did. I did. I thought the momentum swung our way. I thought Sporting at that time was playing for the tie. I thought Sporting was doing everything they could to make sure that they walked away with the tie. A little bit of time wasting, whatever you want to call it, trying to go on a counter, but they made sure they battened down the hedges, and Benfica still was able to find a couple of space between the defenders and whatnot, and create a couple of opportunities, but the finishing wasn't there. Unlucky on the one that hit the post, but that was really it, man. I mean, I just felt like the intensity wasn't there. I felt like the boys didn't show up to play the way we'd expect them to play in a game like this with the crowd behind them, with the season on the line. I expected a little bit better performance. I wasn't too ecstatic with the some of the substitutions that were made.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand the thinking. I mean, look, you give me a Pavlidis who you watched the game with me, Alfredo. You saw me for majority of the game. I sat here and complained and screamed at the TV because I thought Pavlidis was taking one touch too many. I thought he was looking to dribble rather than just playing simple and get into space. And then he pulled a rabbit out of the hat. Right before I said me pasa bola, he got he was able to go around 3 or 4 Sportingistas and pass the ball across the middle for Artugulu to get into the goal. But you give me a fatigued Pavlidis any day over the Picanha, any day over Ducaralo. I guess Laj was looking for the miracle and that perfect, story tell, ending and stuff like that. But come on, bro. I don't understand the thinking behind that. And I just don't, Benfica didn't really create the way I anticipated they would. Artu, what's his name? The kid that's been in the news lately, Sheldrup came in. I don't think he really added much. I mean, I just think it's a huge pressure packed game. And look, but the one thing we Benfiquistas need to understand as well is that there's another team on the other side of the pitch. Here you have to fight and battle with for every ball and stuff. So Sporting did what they had to do. I mentioned on last week's podcast, I was really fearful of the draw because I thought when things get tough, Sporting could just sit back and walk away with the draw, and all they have to do is win the last game in the Campeonato. It's all in their hands. It's in their control. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened come, this past Saturday. So very, very frustrated,
Yeah.
very
Extremely frustrating.
very emotional, man. Just not happy with the whole performance.
Obviously, there were some refereeing mistakes that we saw that I mean, Benfiquistas were clamoring for it, but there's also plays that Otamendi could have seen a red card, regardless of whether the ball is a penalty ball or not. There was a foul. It was the last man. He could have seen a red card early on. Ullman should have seen his second yellow throughout the game. I kept on one yellow. A couple other things. The penalty call on or non-call on Otamendi that VAR should have called Pinheiro to go and look at the play. And look, it was. I think it was mistakes all around. I think you can't blame it squarely on the referee. I think at the end of the day, as Chris mentioned, the team just didn't show up. I mean, the fans were there, the atmosphere was there, and I'm kind of wondering, David.
Yeah, but I thought the referee, Alfredo, aided in a little of that, and Benfica not being able to play. It can never get into rhythm because all these bullshit ticky tack fouls that we talk about in Portuguese football. Sporting, look again, it's not a criticism. They did what they had to do. Sporting wasted time to their advantage. They played it perfectly.
Yeah.
Anytime. And this the one thing. Forget about whether it's Sporting or a Benfica player. I'll say this about anybody. I think the majority of you guys that listen to Benfica podcast over the years know exactly how I am. I call a spade, whether you like it or not. And the one thing about Portuguese football is, as a player, forget a defender, as a player, you get the ball. All you have to do is turn your back to the opposition that's pressuring you, fall down on top of the ball, and it's a foul. And Sporting did that countless time.
Yeah.
It was 24 fouls to 14 at the end of the day. I think 14 or 6. I think it was 14 at the end of the day. Too much bullshit fouls, and I think it was really hard for Benfica to get into the rhythm of things. And again, credit to Sporting. They played it to their advantage, and it worked out. But I think that the referee aided and Benfica not being able to get into that rhythm. And that's not to say that Benfica would ultimately would have won the game. But I think it was just another obstacle for Benfica to get over.
Yeah, I think that every time that Benfica created a little bit of a flow, a little bit of a momentum, there will be a foul. There will be a break in play, and Sporting played that to their advantage. They used the clock to their
And
advantage.
then vinha uma massagista, vinha
yeah.
isto. Yeah, it was just,
it was just
ugly.
something, and they did their job, because I think that if Benfica was in the same position, Benfica probably would have done the same. I think it's all part of the game, and I think if the referee allows it, teams are going to take advantage of it. But Dave, I wanted to ask. Well, I'll ask both of you guys. With the outpouring of support and the way the bus was received at the stadium, do you feel that that the players felt the pressure rather than feeling energized?
I think they did. Well, it's hard to say because the Jokeres, or not even Jokeres goal, the Trincão goal happened so quickly that any momentum that they would have felt from the crowd now gets thrown out the window, and now they're really behind the eight ball and gotta press the game and bring it to Sporting, right? So I did, especially after the goal, I felt that the team was playing a little bit I don't want to say with nerves, but like Pavlidis, for example, didn't have the greatest first touch, or you could tell that he was really trying to force it and try to take it upon himself rather than even making the proper touch or a proper shot. So I think there was some nervousness or some additional pressure, especially with that that goal in the 4th minute. But it's really hard to say if that the crowd support behind the team was a positive, because it goes all out the window as soon as that Sporting goal comes so early into the match.
First, I think that's a good question, and second of all, I think yeah. I mean, I think the obvious answer is yeah. I think they felt a little bit, and then like Dave said, that early goal, it just even if they weren't feeling it, they started feeling it right away.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why the easy answer is yes is because you see the way this team has played on the road all year long, and they've been a totally different team, with the exception of going to Sporting early on into the season. That was early under Lage's return as coach. But besides that, pretty much all the other big games, man, they went out and they either won games or they played games. They played teams very tough. So I think this team's a totally different team on the road, and it's sad because, as we just mentioned, man, the support from the fans. I mean, I've never seen anything like this at Stade de Luz. I mean, I'm sitting there, Alfredo, and you know this, before the game, and I got tears streaking down my face, right? For a team that after time, like, fuck this, I'm quit. I'm not gonna watch these guys no more. I'm tired of this shit. And I'm sitting there with tears down my face. And it was sad. It was sad to see that this team did not come to play, didn't show up, didn't. At least the one thing we always ask about Benfica,
Effort.
and I know I do, is we want that effort, man. We want, we need that intensity. We need to see that these guys don't commit relva, and we didn't see that this game. And it seemed like it was just another game, at least in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's another game. I mean, not that the championship's on the line, not that you could win this, that you could win it. No, it just seemed like a walk in the park, and it's sad because at the end of the day, if you come, if we go back all the way back to July, right, or first week of August, whatever, whenever the hell the schedule comes out, guys, whenever the draw comes out, right, we go back to that time, and if I was to tell you, look, we're gonna go to the second to last game of the season, Benfica's even on points with Sporting, and winner takes all, and that game is just starting to lose, we'd all sign up for it.
Yep.
And so we had it. I mean, this was a perfect scenario. This is a team that was down, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever the hell it was at one point when Amorim was in charge, right? This team, none of us thought we'd even be anywhere close to sniffing a title.
Yeah.
Going back to like November, December, and now here we are at our house with our fans, with the great support, with the whole country at a standstill. And we come up there and put up a soft-ass performance.
Huge goose egg.
Boris is in the chat saying we fucked up badly against Roca, not Sporting's fault. I think that's where we want to revert to, because that was the most recent where we drop points, and it's easy to point to that. But I think how we started the season is really where we dropped this season, bringing Schmidt back when we all knew how last season felt.
Dave, Dave, listen, and I mean to cut you. You're right, and you could all say Aroka. You could make yeah, obviously, right. We all said don't bring back Schmidt, but Dave, all we got to do is beat Sporting at home.
That's true. Yeah, if you can't
You
beat
get what I'm
Sporting at
saying?
home,
Like you put all that shit into it. You put all that in the hat, right? Aroka. What about Casapia? Right? You put all this shit into the hat.
Everybody that we lost points against.
We still all we had, like, again, and I'm not saying beating Sporting is like beating fucking what's the team that everybody's going crazy about, the Chaldrupe Prestiani, the greatest future Ballon d'Or winners, the fifth division team, right? I get it. Sporting is not exactly like playing against those guys. I understand the game. It's a much tougher game to play. I understand that, but it was still in our hands at home. We normally beat Sporting at home, right? And I get it. You could tell me, look, that early goal, I think the early goals were really fucked everything up. I think the team got lost in, like I said before, the nerves and everything. They started getting nervous and such like all that bullshit. Yeah. But again, not to cut you off, they put all that bullshit, and it was still in our hands.
Yeah, we arrived at this game with our future in our hands. And you can't ask for much more than that. Forget about the Oroka game. Forget about the Casapia game. Forget about all the other games that you played like shit and you lost points when you should have won. But at the end of the day, you're left in a game in your own stadium with an opportunity to win the title if you would have won by 2 goals. And I think we were very capable of doing that.
What 2 goals? You need 1 goal, bro. 1 goal. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's 1-0 was enough.
But 2 would have
guaranteed two would have clinched
celebration.
No, I know, but I don't think any of us would be here upset that we won by 1. That's my point.
No, I would take that result as well.
No, not at all.
Dave, I'm sorry, man. I'm just frustrated because, like, sometimes we got to look at the facts, right? Because everybody's got a million excuses, right? And me too. I'm not saying you, it was just all of us. But the fact is, bro, that shit was right there. It was on a platter. Win the fucking game. You know what I mean? So all that other bullshit, all that other nonsense, because Sporting could go and point to whatever the hell they had to point to. And all their fans are saying right now is, listen, all we needed was a draw. As long as we win the game, last game of the year. But all we need, and we got, like, Sporting got the result that they needed.
Right. Yep. Playing away from home.
Things are still, and things are still under control, right? They still control their own destiny. They got the result. I'm pretty sure you tell Sporting before you want to win or you want to or you want to a draw. They're gonna say, look, obviously we want to win, but at the end of the day, as long as I leave Stade de Luz with my own destiny in my own hands, I'll be okay. Exactly, and that's precisely what they did. Benfica does not leave this game with their own destiny in their own hands when they could have.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's unfortunate, really, because like I said, everything was there, the support was there, the pictures were there, and I think that this was our game for the taking. And unfortunately, we weren't able to take advantage of it, and now we're left with 1 more game to go, and a hope and a prayer that Sporting in their own house, with their own wave and support of fans, because God knows that's going to happen, right? Because they haven't won the Bicampeonato in 72 years. They're going to be ready. Despite playing Vitória, they're going to be ready. And just we have to go and do our job in Braga and hope for a miracle.
Look, and I see Boris here. Not that Lage needs the defending, right? I don't need to defend the guy. But he says we didn't win this game because Lage is a 0. And look, you might be right about us not winning this game, but let's not forget, Lage is still the same guy that brought the team back from, what was it, 8-9 points to this position. Yeah. So, I mean, let's as much as we want to shit on people, like, let's not forget, there's the good and the bad, but
yeah. I think there's some blame. I think that starting Di Maria wasn't but then again, look at this. If he starts Di Maria and Di Maria gets those 2 goals in, the one from the one shot and the one with the side of the foot volley, we're having a different conversation. Now the man's hailed as a hero, and that's how he says goodbye to Stade de Luz.
You don't even need the 2. 1.
Yeah, at least 1.
One. I mean, the one from outside the box, but that volley.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. When I saw Di Maria cocking his foot back, I said, that shit. I mean, come on. Di Maria has done that countless times in his career. I said, that's in the back of the net.
And even that chance towards the end of the game that where Pavlidis hit the upright and Belotti does everything well. And then I remember telling Chris, está fácil. It's easy. That's easy. And then to see him hit the ball And instead of going far post, he goes near
Mishit.
post and he hits the upright. I was like, that was the chance. That was the chance because we hadn't had many chances up to that point. And I felt that was our chance. That was our chance that we gave away, and it's so anticlimactic. It's so reminiscent of that Seferovic against Barcelona, if you guys remember that. But yeah,
I don't think it was
my
to that
God.
extent. I don't think it was to that extent.
no, this one
but-
was more of a given, Dave.
You think?
Yeah, I
No,
don't know.
Alfredo,
Pavlidis was
no,
right
no,
on
no.
on the goal line. Come on.
No, he wasn't on the goal
He
line.
wasn't on a
no,
goal, but
that-
he had the whole
He
goal.
was on the goal. He was at the top of the box. No, yeah, I know, but Alfredo, it's still a ball that's coming from the right, and he's got to hit it perfectly. I mean, look, I think he could have done better, but that being said, come on, that's Fedovic. That's Fedovic at Barcelona was worse. Come on, Alfredo. Come on.
It
The
gave
guy had
me
the
the
ball
chills,
open, and
bro.
he does a long touch.
It gave me the
Stop
chills.
It. It's not even close.
Dave, stats, so we can move.
Stats here. Let's go with the positive. Pavlidis leads Benfica with goals scored with 28 this season, and assists now with that Maradona assist, like you described it, to the goal, our only goal of the game. That was his 11th of the season. Here, we controlled possession of the game, 61% to 39%. Only the one shot on target. The expected goals, we actually had a large advantage. We had expected goals of 1.84 compared to Sporting's only 0.35. But at the end of the
Damn.
game, it's a
Damn,
1-1
Dave.
draw.
You found a way to bring analytics into the podcast. Dave, I hate
Expected
analytics
goals.
in baseball. And you're
Expected
doing it.
goals,
Expected
Dave.
goal. Expected. Yeah,
Expected
I
goals.
expected if it's me in front of the goal, and expected if it's Cristiano Ronaldo in front of the goal. I think, come on, expected. Come on, it is expected. I hate these bullshit stats. It
Yeah.
depends who it is, bro. Expected.
Dave, you didn't
Come
have
on,
to
bro.
pretty it up. You could just said it was a fucking miserable game, man. Fucking shitty ass stats. Where
You
you end
asked
up
him
with
for
a
the
lot
stats, Alfredo.
you end up with a lot of possession, but you have 15. I think 15 shots and only
14
one
shots,
of them on
one
goal.
on target.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Wait, and the one on target. But wait, hold on, guys. Let me clear this. Let me clear the stage. The one on target that went in, that shit wasn't even a shot. I think that shit.
That was like a deflection, was it not?
Exactly. He touches.
Yeah, but it was
going to
go in
the
about.
Sporting.
It hit off the guy's
Oh,
head.
but that's not a shot though, Alfredo. The ball hits you in the ass. It goes the other way. That's not a shot.
It was
A
Hey,
shot
the other
is-
ones weren't going in, so we'll take it at that.
It's going
at
in,
that
bro.
point.
going in.
Alfredo, but it's not a shot. The ball hit. I don't know. Whatever. Tem razão. Mas tá bem. I'm just saying. Às vezes a bola bate no ombro e vai à baliza. That's not a shot.
No, but this one he shot it, just hit the guy's head. He tried to
I
divert
don't
it.
remember. I don't remember because you see me. I was screaming and jumping. So I still didn't see.
I
how
never,
he hit it.
I
don't know.
never saw Chris so animated to watching the game of a Benfica game. I swear. Usually he's pretty chill on the couch, just hanging. But he was. I don't know how many times
Yeah, man.
he called Sheldrup a bum, and everybody else a bum. This guy's a fucking bum. Get him
You
off the
see it,
fucking
man,
field.
alone. But dude, I'm always look, man. You know, there's Dave analytics for you, right? There's this stat in tennis. If you guys watch tennis, you guys have surely heard of the unforced error, right? That's when a guy just fucks shit up on his own. Like, oh man, my man, all you gotta do is hit the ball over the other thing, and you hit that shit in the stands. That's an unforced error. and in this game for Benfica, bro, bringing that tennis stat into the game. That's what I mean about bums. I tell people all the time, when you have a guy on your back, I understand you committing these turnovers and making mistakes and erring passes. I get it. But when you're alone, okay, Tino, not saying any names. When you're alone and you can't complete a 10-yard pass, bro, that is
Awful
you
shit.
shit in your pants or you got no quality. There's
Awful
no
shit.
in between. Okay? There's no in between.
It was a lot
So
of that
that's what
going
I'm
on.
talking about, bums and stuff. I mean, Benfica was just a lot of unforced errors. It was just a lot of giving the ball up, just amateurish mistakes. Sporting, to their credit, when they wanted to press, Benfica could not complete a pass. It was parts of the game there weren't pretty at all. And
I remember
not gonna-
there was one play that were coming down the middle, and Tino was open on the right. And Chris was like, "No, not to him, not to him, not to him."
because that was the
Fucking
obvious play,
hilarious,
and they didn't
bro.
go to him neither. Remember? And I'm like, no, because I was like that guy. Then I was like that guy. Oh no. When I realized it was Tina, I was like,
Yeah.
no.
Not to
Do
him.
not pass it, and they did it. So
Not
good
to
thing,
him.
Good thing.
Yeah, but look, we're moving on, and in the last, we just got to do our job and hope for a miracle. Well, we'll see what happens. Last game is not Studiel. I wrote this wrong. No, it's Braga. Game takes 1:30. All the games are being played at 1:30, I believe, in the last round on Saturday. Dave, right? I think can you confirm that? Braga
Yeah.
would nothing to play for really, as they can't get to the third place, or they could by a miracle if Porto loses and they win by 6 goals. So imagine Braga 7
it's
goals.
7, no?
Yeah.
They have
think
to
it's
overcome a 6 goals, so they need the 7 goals. That's
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Salvador will be up for it. Salvador ain't doing Benfica no favors.
No, that's for
But-
sure. But Christy, on the other side, Vitória playing Sporting at the Alvalade, right? Vitória with something still things at stake with the win, and
Can I stop you, Alfredo?
go.
Can I stop you real quick? Listen, don't ask me the question. Ask Dave, because I'm not even gonna entertain it. I'm not gonna get my hopes up to then sit here.
Let's go.
And
I'll bring the
I could
positivity. I'll
understand-
bring the glimmer
Yeah,
of hope
I
here.
could understand all the facts you're man, all that bullshit. I get it, but we're talking about a team that just lost the last fucking place for this. All right, at home in a game they absolutely needed to win. And now I'm expecting them to be upset because the coach left, and now they're gonna go beat Sporting at Sporting when Sporting has the title within reach. Nah, bro, I'm not gonna get amped up. You know what? That's Dave. I'm not gonna entertain it. Look, I hope so. I'm praying for it, but I'm not gonna fucking entertain it because you know what's gonna happen. Bom dar aqui com o grande blown. Another week after the previous week. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna entertain it. So you guys have fun. Knock yourselves out.
No, but you guys probably didn't know that. But there's a clause in Manu's
That's-
contract that if Benfica wins the championship, Vitória gets $1 million. But you guys didn't know
Yeah,
that.
that's
You
the
know.
club. That's the club, not the players. The players don't make the million. The club
Yeah,
does.
but they could take that
The
million
players-
and say, here, how many guys? 23 guys, $1 million divided by 23. Here, go ahead. I think that there's a couple things, and maybe this is the hopeless optimistic in me, right? With Vitória. There's that clause, which I don't think the players are going to care, to be honest with you. But there's also a little bit of resentment towards Rui Borges, a coach that abandoned them during mid-season. So I don't know. I mean, there's always a thing of, oh, you left us, and now we could do you in by beating you. I don't know if there's an extra motivation for the players for that or not. Rui Borges has also accused Vitória to force yellow cards so players wouldn't play or against some crazy bullshit like that. But certainly there's no love lost between Rui Borges and Vitória. Obviously, so there's that narrative also. So so we'll see. But
That's fine.
if I'm a
but
betting
you
man,
expect
I'm
me-
gonna say no.
You expect me to expect a team that just lost a game at home that they absolutely needed to win in order to clinch a European spot, right?
Yeah.
If they beat last place okay, at home with a sold out crowd going nuts, right? The game was, you see the fans were amped up, right? And they couldn't pull this off against the last place team. Now you expect them to be like, oh yeah, I know. They couldn't beat Fluminense, but now because they're mad because the coach left them, right? They're upset. I know probably got some Sportingistas in the chat. Not trying to piss anybody off or ruffle some feathers, but I think they got a better coach to replace him. I think Freire, or whatever his name is, Luis Freire is
Yeah.
better than Rui Borges. So
Yeah.
they got an upgrading coach, right? So they won there. And how a team that can't beat Fluminense at home is going to go into Sporting and beat up? Come on, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't see it. What can I say?
Yeah, it could also
I hope
be
so.
the classic of overlooking a team ahead of the last game. I don't know, but you're right, Chris. With a chance of clinching their European spot.
Alfredo, you're looking for every glimmer of hope. God bless you, brother.
I am,
I'm not
man.
entertaining.
I'll
Does that-
just say this, Chris. we're not dealing with a Sporting that's all big and mighty and powerful that have a history of winning these championships back to back and have this superiority and especially mental superiority over uh, everyone else in Portugal. Like there is a glimmer of hope, but honestly, if this was Porto, I would have already written it off. It's Sporting
But
in my mind.
Sporting can
We
happen,
still
right?
have that superiority
I
Sporting
don't
can
know,
happen.
man. I
them.
don't know.
They
Did you
anything
not?
goes wrong, if they go down early, they start shitting their pants. The fans are so quick to turn on that club. It's one of
I
the
don't
it's
know.
embarrassing
They
to
got
see.
they got that
So
lucky. They got that lucky little star
Yeah,
like Porto. The
they do.
referee. Look at Gil Vicente in Santa Clara. I mean,
Yep.
I'm just joking, but
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
Sterlinho campeão.
God bless you guys. God bless you guys.
No,
man.
we gotta remain positive.
we got to remain
Yeah.
positive. That's what I mean. And they've Guimarães already took points away from them. The first round, a 3-3 draw. And the only downside is they got Bruno Varela in net, so he's due for a frango or two in this match here. But
No, see, look.
I'm not writing them off completely. It's not 100% that they're going to be champions. I'm leaning towards like an 80-20 or a 70-30. I'm feeling a little bit of optimism there. Can't be 100% there.
You said the opposite of Hugo. You mentioned Barella, and you mentioned he's due for a couple of frunks. Hugo is actually optimistic because he says, "Yo, he's one of ours. I'd rather have one of
He's
ours."
still looking for that 15 million purchase
but-
clause.
Yeah, but he's like, he's one of ours. He rather in that from that point of view, yeah, he's correct. You're better off having a former Benfica product in goal than a Sporting product in goal. I mean, if you're gonna look at it that way. So yeah, I mean, and look,
Yeah, maybe Varela's inspired, bro.
it goes crazy. It's crazy to think that another Benfica championship hangs in Barella's hands.
For the
It didn't go well the first time. Let's hope it goes better this time.
Yeah.
And then don't forget, Benfica still has to be Braga. So
No,
it's
that's
not exactly
I
a
think that's
cakewalk.
the most important thing is that we gotta win our game and win it comfortably and
we're gonna win 3-0 with a Di Maria hat-trick.
Yeah, maybe pick up a little bit of momentum going to the Taça de Portugal, which is a trophy that we've been chasing for a while. So obviously the championship is always number one objective, the Taça being number two. So if we can get the championship, certainly,
Christian Libori was over here saying, look at the Sporting Gil Vicente game. You never know. What? Sporting won. So what do you they got 3 points.
I hope it doesn't come down to that. If they're gonna win, make it.
What are we gonna look at?
Rip the Band-Aid off within the first 20 minutes. Please do not let it go to the 93rd minute and have them win on a last-minute goal. I don't know
if
not
my
be
heart
able
will
to deal
take
with
it.
that. No,
Listen, Dave, the only thing I can guarantee you about Saturday is I'll have both games on, one on each TV. And I'll guarantee you this. This is a fact. And I already told somebody today. Right? And Alfredo will not be at my house. I guarantee you
that. he forbade me.
Every time he comes to my fucking house, we lose or draw. No more. You're not watching any more games. Fuck that. Stay home.
Nah, he told
me on the phone. You can call me on my cell phone. Yeah.
Dude, you should have locked the door so your wife can come and antagonize you downstairs at halftime. She literally came and antagonized him at halftime. It was awful. And I had to witness that, Dave. But yeah, look, as I mentioned, I think that we just have to win our game and hope that lucky stars line up, and hopefully Varela will have a game of his life, and other things come together. But I very much doubt that Sporting is going to shit the bed. Find it very, very hard.
Grand Kevin, Varela's going to have a stellar game. Kevin, always the optimist.
You have to be optimistic.
I love you guys.
You have to be optimistic, man.
Christian Libori, Varela will be man of the match. Listen, didn't Benfica beat somebody like 8-0 and there was the goalie was the man of the match because that shit could have gone like 17-0? Remember that one game this year we killed the team and the goalie was like, yo, where does this guy come from? What was the game? You guys recall? What team was it? Bro, I think we won like 6-0 and the goalie had like 80 saves.
Dave,
like,
scope that out, Dave.
I forget what it is. I forget what it was.
Yeah,
But it was
I
something. I think
remember
he was
that.
the man of the match.
It wasn't too long ago that we that was the score 6-0, 7-0, or something like that, and the goalie was the man of the match. Yeah. But yeah. So
Was it
like
Boavista? Was it Boavista? I think it was Boavista.
maybe Boavista. Yeah.
The goalie was
That's right.
nuts.
It was Boavista. It was
The goalie was
Boavista.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He stood on top of his head that game, and
It was a 3-0 victory, but the
yeah, but there was a
expected
team
goals
we
were
beat like
much
6 or 7-0 not too long ago, Dave. Right?
AFS or
AFS,
AVS with,
yeah.
but that was with the Ochoa and that he didn't really stand out.
Yeah.
That
We'd
match.
expect the performance from Ochoa, like the one I'm talking about, Boavista. We'd expect one of those from Ochoa. But,
Yeah. Yeah, so let's get out of here. So for those of you that are listening to this and watching this, obviously, whatever you need to do, go put a little candle to your favorite saint. Go say a couple prayers.
Call Ngata. Make a shama and Nara and Ngata.
Nyaga.
Call Nyaga. Yeah, call him up.
Yeah.
If you got connections. Hit him up.
Yeah, maybe your vovó knows some kind of brujeria that she could put into place that will help Benfica win the title. Something happens, maybe Gyökeres break a leg in the warm up or something.
Maybe
like
there will
that.
be, maybe there will be another power outage in Lisbon on Saturday, and you know what I mean.
But Dave, all the games are at 1:30, bro.
No, fool. That's all, Dave. You want destruction. I don't want an earthquake. I said power outage.
Come
Relax.
on, just shake up the one of the stands. Call the game off for a little bit.
No, it's gonna happen, guys. You gotta have to have faith. You have to have faith because hope is always the last thing to die. So you got to play our game. We got to win our game and hope that the lucky stars line up and everything works out in our favor. And like I said, Varela has the game of his life and something else. And Fred has the coaching game of his life and things end up well. Don't forget they're without Martin Ullman.
He's a good coach. But Guimarães is without the kid that I want in the midfield. Handel, Thomas Handel. Yeah, he's out too. So.
Yeah. Before we go, Bruno Teixeira is asking, don't you guys think we should be looking to buy an experienced center back to replace Otamendi to allow Antonio Silva Araújo to grow? We need a new experienced leader. I think there's another season. Another season in Otamendi.
For the buy, keep, sell.
Right.
Thank you, Dave. That's what I was going to say. He said for buy, keep, sell. Oh, Bruno. You got to tune in. Don't push too vice over.
Yeah. So that's all we got. We'll be back next week. We'll wrap up the regular season and we'll look at
Uncle Rico does make a good point. More experience than Otamendi.
You can't
bro.
You can't just find those guys.
Sergio Ramos out of retirement. You're gonna get Pep.
He's in Mexico.
Yeah, Sergio Ramos is in Mexico.
Go get Pep. Pep's available. I mean, you're not gonna find many more experience than the guy. Good catch, Rico.
Yeah, that's all we got for you. Thank you so much for listening and supporting us and for being active in the chat. We appreciate you all. We'll be back next week, hopefully Tuesday. We'll recap the Braga game. We'll look ahead to the Taça de Portugal game and call it quits. I think that we will have. I'll have to figure out whether we have the buy, sell, keep, or loan segment next week, or if we'll postpone that.
After the Taça.
Do it after the Taça.
Do it after the Taça.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be 10 guys I say sell, release for free, and they might do something good in the Taça. I'm like, no, keep them.
Nah,
So
yeah. Thank you guys. Always a pleasure. Chris, Dave, welcome back, man. You got a little sunburn on your nose, man. You need to take care of that. That's dangerous. Take care, everyone. See you next week.